What's going on, Solid Steppers? This is Miss Ward coming to you from I-10. Right now, you still see the devastation from the hurricane, the last one. I think it was Iliad or something like that, or Ilion or whatever. I don't know who comes up with these names, but hey, it is what it is. My heart still goes out to the families that are recuperating and trying to recover, actually, from the devastation. And this is why I'm telling you guys, the key in business and appliance repair is staying ready so you don't have to get ready. You know, when the hurricane situation happened here in Florida, I had to make rearrange my routes and things of that nature, since I cover the state and I cover Georgia and Alabama. And that's what I talk about when I'm telling people to prepare. For me, that's one of my methods. So, you know, parts were delayed. A couple of things happened here with subs and there and that. But at the end of the day, you got to have that comeback plan, man. Life is going to happen, but do you have a comeback plan? And that's the name of the game, man. No matter what you go through, do you have a comeback plan? Man, I don't know how long it's going to take them to clear this out. You got to realize this is not near the water. Just so we know, this is I-10. I think I'm riding through Madison County, between Madison and Live Oak. But the devastation is real. And that's the same thing you see in business. Now, when you're making decisions, you got to not make decisions for the day, but you got to make it for tomorrow, for 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. And that means you got to have time to sit back and really have not only a plan, but have a plan that's pliable, so that if you have to make a move or make a decision, you can. That goes to, you know, these one-man shops. You know, the reality is, as a one-man shop, when you start dealing with subcontractors and have people go do work and you get paid without having to go turn a wrench, that's always a wonderful thing. But you got to think about how to scale that. You know, like makes me think about Justin Gandy. Shout out to my boy, Kansas City. You know, this dude is the kind of guy that kept trying different things till he got it right. And he's constantly growing. He's always watching his reports. He's looking at the performance of his different techs on the job and how much work they're producing and, you know, things of that nature. You know, and just as recently as like a month ago, he was on the podcast, Service Alliance Group. You'll see it on the live section of my channel. And we were talking about KPIs and running reports, and how he had guys on his teams that he was basically alley-ooping. You know, he was setting up, giving them basically the light work, the gravy jobs. And his other guys, you know, his new hires who are out there grinding, were putting out more effort and bringing more work to the table, more bags to the table. And they didn't even have the hookup. But you know, what you learn in business is you get close to people and you want to look out for them and their families. And a lot of times you're not helping them, you cripple them, and you're crippling them, and you're crippling your business, trying to be the nice guy. I tell people all the time, when you're in business, the employee and the sub is never going to look at your business the way you do. They're not going to have the same heart. They're not going to have the same drive. Now in your face, they might say it. But the reality is, everybody got their own situations and their own agendas, regardless of what they say. Always look at people's actions. You got recalls because guys are doing shortcuts, so they doing shortcuts so much that they think that's the way to work on an appliance. I got away with this, I got away with that. I just, you know, did a little something here, this, or I did the easiest method. I mean, who you gonna blame? You're not checking. You gotta check. And not only do you have to check, you have to be willing to make those hard decisions. That means if you got to get back in the truck, get in the truck. You know, I watch a lot of guys that get out of the truck and they don't want to go back. They, you know, hire guys and throw them in there, and they constantly lose money because they didn't got comfortable. At the end of the day, you should never be comfortable in business. If you're comfortable in business, be very afraid, because there's something happening and moving around you that you're missing. And you got to keep that circle of people around you who are going to keep you leveling up and keep you going to the next level. You know, you can't do that by yourself. You know, a lot of people, I know a lot of loners in the industry. How I know them, who knows? But, you know, I meet them at Marcone. You know, people see me, a lot of them know me, and they be scared to say something. Now, you know, as long as you're respectful, I don't have a problem with you speaking, but don't get in your feelings if I don't have time to talk, because I ain't just a guru. I'm a guru. I'm doing this every day, dealing with the hard decisions, dealing with balancing the budget, getting parts, trying to take care of customers, keeping the work moving. I mean, I have an enormous amount of work, but the key is just because you have a lot of work don't mean your ass making a lot of money. You got to make sure you got the right work, and then you got to schedule that and keep customers at bay. Like, it's a whole situation. You know, and this is why it's so important when we're talking about these lag indicators, man. What you do today is going to affect your business a week, 2 weeks from now. Depends on how you get paid. It depends on, you know, what resources you had to expend today, and did you restock those resources. It's like a whole situation. But, you know, at the end of the day, those of us that continue to work on our craft and work on ourselves personally, work on our business, you know, at the end of the day, let me tell you something. In a perfect world, this is my perfect world. I got spreadsheets and reports and apps that monitor. This is my perfect world. That monitor my phone calls, the conversion of the calls to sales or appointments, that manages the productivity as far as the quick turnaround on parts, ordering from diagnostics or before diagnosis, actually going out with the product. I think about all that stuff, and if you have all that stuff in a system, this is why you got to understand the back end of your business. The back end of your business, you ain't even got to have apps for this, because everybody always be asking me about an app. Some of y'all need to learn how to do basic Excel spreadsheets. It really ain't that hard, and you really don't even, I mean, they got stuff that do it for you, but you should know how to build these sheets out and make a list. And even if you can't do that, you should be able to get a damn ledger or a notebook and put down parts price, how much I sold it for, and what's the profit. Start from the basics. If you start from the basics, you're going to win. Because what you're going to find out, a lot of y'all ain't making no damn money. You just changing parts and surviving and shuffling money around, but you ain't making no profit. That's why you can't never get ahead. That's when you know you got to go back to your paperwork. You got to go back to the books. And you got to slow your butt down and really understand what you're doing. You know, a lot of people just go out and sell and make money so they can pay rent or put gas in the car or, you know, survive day to day because they have a survivor mentality. But when you really get into business, you get out of survivor mode. You get into, how do I structure the business so I can be uber successful with not as much uber effort, because I have systems in place. It's that simple. But if you're not putting those systems in place by learning the basics, from looking at your profit, you should be looking at your schedules. You should look at how many jobs you get completed in a day, and how many are one-stop related completions, how many you've had to go back to multiple times. Like, all this stuff has to be in a system so that you can review it and you can tweak it on a daily basis. And I'm not talking about fixing it in one day. I'm talking about incrementally, so that the compounding effect takes your business to the next level. But that's why you need a consult. That's why you need coaching, because 99% of us don't know this. And then the thing about it is, you got to deal with somebody who's tolerant enough to listen to your ass, ask them some questions that they looking at you like, you know, you should know this. Because that lets me know either you have not been in the business or you just been fixing stuff and putting money in the tank. Because I'm telling you, I see people all the time. They just fixing stuff enough to pay this bill, fixing stuff enough to pay that bill, and then get a whole attitude when you get a call back on issue. Well, guess what? You wasn't even focused on the business. You wasn't even focusing on fixing it so you don't have to come back or don't have a recall. Ask me how I know. I have been there. I can talk this talk because I don't walk this walk. So with that said, This Ward is signing off. As always, you know the motto. Take the Titans 2.0. Solid steppers. Day ones, I love you. Oh, yeah. I don't know why I never asked this, but like, share, and subscribe. I'm supposed to do that. But with that said, I love all you guys. You know I'm giving you that tough love. I just want you to win. Be blessed.